Hi guys, it's Lauren. How you doing? It is NaNoWRIMO. The time has finally arrived. We are here. It's NaNoWRIMO. Oh my god. I stayed up till about 1 o'clock last night because I wanted to see if I could get some words in before I went to bed. And I did, however, I didn't get a lot because it then came down to that moment, that repetitive, self-loathing moment where the first sentence and the first paragraph is just not good enough. And obviously I know NaNoWRIMO is not the time to dwell on the first sentence and the first chapter. It's the time to just get it all out and fix it later. However, last night I found myself in that pattern again of rereading what I've written and absolutely tearing it to pieces and rewriting it a million different times. So I thought, let me turn this turmoil into a video. So if you're not aware of what I'm doing for NaNoWRIMO, I will quickly fill you in right now. So on Wattpad, I had an unfinished story called Make It Real, which was like a young adult university romance. So instead of coming up with a new idea for this year, I thought I would take that story and, well, take some plot points of that story. There's a lot that I am not taking over into this rewrite, and rewrite it basically and see what I can do. I'm scrapping the whole first chapter that I had on Wattpad, and I think that's why I've been struggling so much like last night, trying to write the first chapter, because it is a big deal, but it's like not a big deal now, and I need to get that into my head. Like, it doesn't matter how bad my first opening scene is, I just need to get it down and move on, because otherwise I'm definitely not going to have any chance of hitting 50,000 words. I thought we would sit here and you can watch me try to come up with an opening for my NaNoWRIMO story 2020 project short straw. The first piece of information I want the reader to know about my main character is that she is a writer. I love this trope of having the main character be a writer or somewhere in the creative bound. I decided last night I wanted to show her trying to write for one of her creative writing assignments. I wanted to have the image of her really struggling to come up with something, which, as we all know, we all struggle. I will read you what I come up with last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning. There was a woman at a bar. She was hot, she was drunk, and she wanted another drink. There was a man at the bar. He was okay looking, he was sober, and he wanted to take the hot, drunk, and thirsty woman back to his planet and away from Earth, where the floors were sticky, toilets were grim, and alcohol was served in glasses still marked by cheap lipstick. The glasses were clean on his planet, and women weren't half as hot. Reverie stopped typing, read the paragraph twice over before laughing, then almost crying and deleting the whole thing. What was wrong with her? If she picked up a book at the store and it started like that, she'd put it straight back down. Or she'd take a picture, post it on the internet and shred it to pieces. She closed her laptop and glanced out the window. I have mixed feelings about it. I do like that it starts off showing what she'd tried to write, and it's meant to be bad. Like, I know that paragraph at the top is awful. If I picked up a book like that, I would definitely put it back down, but that's meant to be the point. I want to show the frustration of she cannot write anything good in this moment. She has an assignment due, which I will go on to explain, and she cannot get anything out for it. So she's panicking, she's annoyed at herself, and she's putting so much pressure on herself. I also feel like I don't like it. So the whole point of this video is to see if I can come up with another way to open this story, because as much as that might work, there might be something else that could work even better. So I'm going to try to come up with 2 other ways in this video of how to start the story. So the second way I want to start this story is, I have no idea. I guess I could start by showing her personality. I mean, that paragraph there doesn't really give anything away about Reverie other than the fact that she's a writer. So maybe we could show her uni life a little bit. What about, there was flooding all around her. Oh, I don't know. There was flooding all around her. There was noise. There was noise. Oh my god, this is so bad. The fuck, man? Why can't I come up with anything? Do you see what I mean? This was literally me last night, like just sat here losing my mind. Reverie lived in a ground floor dorm. So Reverie lived in a dorm where silence was impossible. Couldn't concentrate. Her neighbours were loud, with boyfriends, with deep voiced boyfriends. What about her siding neighbours were loud, with deep voiced boyfriends? Her above neighbour, is that like a thing? Her above neighbour? What do you call a neighbour who, is it a neighbour if they live above you? What? Her upstairs neighbour, that makes more sense. Her above neighbour, well. Her upstairs neighbour was a heavy-footed yoga practicing, music playing turd. No, we cannot use turd. Yoga practicing violin student, violin playing music student. Get rid of yoga practicing, because yoga necessarily isn't loud. Like if someone's doing yoga above you, would you hear it? They're not like jumping up and down. They're like just doing the downward dog. She thought about filing for a different accommodation. Perhaps they would move her to a quieter area with students who studied what's a quiet degree? Maths. Is that a cliche to put maths? I don't know. If it is, I don't care. Or with her luck, they would move her to a building near the SU. I'm just going to put in brackets Students' Union, just in case people don't know what that is. Which, if you don't, then it's not really your fault. Where Tuesdays were, how do you spell karaoke? Karaoke night. And Thursdays were society mixers, which meant Reverie lived in a dorm where she couldn't concentrate. Her siding neighbours were loud, with deep-voiced boyfriends. Her upstairs neighbour was a heavy-footed, violin-playing music student. She thought about filing for a different accommodation. Perhaps they would move her to a quieter area with students who studied maths and went to bed before 10 p.m. Or, with her luck, they would move her to a building near the SU where Tuesdays were karaoke nights and Thursdays were society mixers. She read over the assignment brief, reminded once more that tomorrow she would reminded once more that if the night continued without her typing a word. She would have to face tomorrow's seminar with no empty-handed. And if you were going to turn up a seminar empty-handed, you might as well not go. Where have we thought about that? Would be her first skip. What would Professor Atkin think? I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that either. I feel like I need to get some dialogue in there fast because I favour dialogue by a mile. So I'm going to leave that one for now. I feel like that definitely gets her personality across more. Either way, in both scenarios and both scenes, she's having a rough time. She's having a really rough time. She's got no silence, no peace, and just no clue of what she's doing. So the third one, I feel like because of how I'm feeling about the dialogue, I feel like I should start with a piece of dialogue. Are you seriously rejecting me again? At an just declining the invitation. You're that made Reverie laugh because two-drink limit Reverie She appreciated the invites, the many invites, knew that Anne genuinely wanted her to let go and have some fun. Really playing into the best friend being a extrovert and the main character being an introvert trope here, but it's a trope that I love because it's true, like it's real life. I have friends who are the polar opposite of me, and it works. Like having that relationship where one pulls the other out of the comfort zone, it does work, and it's a great friendship. I've got a lot to think about, but do let me know below what one you think is better. What one would you put down and just stop reading, but what one would make you want to keep reading? What one do you think I should go with? Obviously by the time this video is up I will have decided already, but I would like to know your opinion, because if in the future when I come to working on this on the second draft, the beginning chapter is something that's going to go through a lot of changes. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think compared to my opinion. Obviously I'm going to have a completely different view to the views that you have, because I feel like I know this character already, whereas this is your first glance at her. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.